The story opens inside a prestigious high school where one student rules through fear. His name is Su Gang, a wealthy teenager who treats bullying like a game. Together with his group of friends, he targets weaker students every single day. His family's power reaches so far that even teachers and school administrators pretend not to notice what's happening. One of his favorite victims is a quiet student who is constantly humiliated in front of everyone. A girl named Minji, who always hangs around Su Gang, records every cruel incident on her phone for entertainment. The gang invents twisted games where every loss earns the victim another slap. They laugh while watching him suffer, then lock him inside an empty room and beat him so badly that his screams echo through the entire school over the loudspeakers. Everyone hears the cries. No one steps in. Around this time, a temporary teacher named Simon arrives at the school. She has only 3 months to prove herself and hopes to earn a permanent teaching position. Determined to succeed, she works hard and tries to build good relationships with both students and fellow teachers. One day, she overhears 2 teachers discussing the instructor who previously used her desk. Curious, Simon searches his name online and is horrified to learn that he died after being driven to despair by the school's non-stop bullying culture. The shocking discovery leaves her speechless. Soon afterward, another teacher privately shows Simon a disturbing video. In it, Su Gang and his friends are harassing an elderly woman in public. A new transfer student named Jin Ho, the woman's grandson, tries to protect his grandmother. Unfortunately, that brave decision immediately makes him Su Gang's newest target. Simon also learns that another student had once been beaten so badly by Su Gang that he was forced to leave school. Thanks to Su Gang's influential family, the entire incident was quietly buried. The senior teacher warns Simon to stay away from these problems if she truly wants a permanent position. Outwardly, Simon agrees. Inside, her anger continues to grow. After work, she releases her frustration by hitting a punching bag. During training, her close friend, a police officer, joins her for boxing practice. Only then is it revealed that Simon was once an exceptional boxer with dreams of winning a championship. Many believed she was destined for greatness. Everything changed when her father accumulated massive debts. To help repay them, Simon abandoned her athletic career, took over the family gym, and accepted a part-time teaching job. While cleaning up after training, she notices several old masks lying around. Her friend jokingly suggests they probably belong to her father. The following day, Simon tries acting like an ordinary teacher. She behaves kindly toward everyone and even ignores students secretly smoking because she wants to stay on good terms with the school administration. But everything changes when she discovers Jin Ho surrounded by Su Gang's gang once again. This time, the bullying becomes even more horrifying. They cover Jin Ho's face with a plastic bag before beating him while hiding the nearby security cameras to erase any evidence. Unable to stand by, Simon rushes toward them. Before she reaches the scene, another student named Lee stops her. He desperately warns that interfering could destroy both her career and her future. Lee explains that Su Gang's father is the chief prosecutor, his mother is a famous lawyer, and his family owns enormous influence within the school itself. Nobody dares challenge them. Simon realizes confronting him directly would only make things worse. Thinking quickly, she pretends to stumble into the confrontation by accident just as Su Gang is about to attack Jin Ho again. She falls to the ground, making it look completely unintentional. Using the distraction, she tells Jin Ho to apologize and leave before the situation escalates further. Afterward, Su Gang asks who this new teacher is. One of his friends reminds him that she replaced the previous teacher who died because of the school's bullying. The mere mention of that incident sends Su Gang into a violent rage, and he starts attacking his own friends for bringing up the past. Meanwhile, Lee continues his food delivery job and often trains at Simon's family gym without realizing the boxing coach is actually Simon's father. During one session, Simon's father tells Lee the story of a gifted young boxer whose promising future was destroyed because of his father's mistakes. The story closely mirrors Simon's own life. Back at school, Simon privately speaks with Jin Ho and asks whether he ever reported the bullying. Jin Ho sadly explains that everyone already knows what's happening. The teachers remain silent. The police ignored the evidence he submitted. Instead of punishing the bullies, authorities advised him to transfer schools. After trying to seek justice, the attacks only became more brutal. Frustrated, Jin Ho asks why he should leave when he has done nothing wrong. He begs Simon for help. Simon desperately wants to protect him, but she is still only a temporary teacher whose own future hangs by a thread. Su Gang's wealthy parents regularly send expensive gifts and meals to the school staff, making it even harder for anyone to oppose them. That night, Simon cannot stop thinking about Jin Ho. She remembers the most painful day of her own life, the championship boxing match she lost. Instead of comforting her, her father exploded with anger. He cruelly told her that his real daughter died inside the ring that day. Those words never left her. The next morning, Simon calmly approaches Su Gang and his friends on the rooftop. She politely asks them to stop tormenting other students. He arrogantly claims that only he decides what is right or wrong inside the school before ordering her to leave. Simon quietly walks away. Soon afterward, every teacher receives an official message. Someone has reported the severe bullying directly to the education authorities. The complaint states that the school ignored repeated requests for help. Not long later, Su Gang's furious mother storms into the school. She demands to know who dared report her son. The entire staff remains silent. Simon finally steps forward and accepts full responsibility. She openly admits that she filed the complaint. Enraged, Su Gang's mother physically attacks Simon in front of everyone. Even then, Simon refuses to fight back. Later, Su Gang visits the principal's office and asks what punishment Simon will receive. When the principal says she will probably be dismissed, Su Gang unexpectedly becomes furious. He violently kicks the principal and orders him not to fire Simon. Terrified, the principal immediately agrees. Outside the school, Simon confides everything to her police officer friend. Unfortunately, he explains that without solid evidence, they cannot legally arrest Su Gang despite everyone knowing the truth. Feeling defeated, Simon heads home. On the way, a drunken stranger suddenly slaps her without any reason. For the first time, she completely loses control. With a single powerful punch, she knocks the man unconscious. That moment changes everything. Simon decides she will no longer wait for justice. She will deliver it herself. Elsewhere, Su Gang starts another fight during a basketball game after someone accidentally bumps into him. As chaos erupts across the court, a mysterious figure wearing a cat mask suddenly appears. Without warning, the masked fighter launches a brutal attack against Su Gang. An intense battle follows, leaving Su Gang badly beaten. Lee, who happens to be delivering fried chicken nearby, witnesses everything. Before the fight can continue, police sirens echo through the area, forcing Su Gang and his gang to flee. The next morning, Simon arrives at school wearing a quiet smile. For the first time, Su Gang experienced fear instead of causing it. News of the mysterious masked fighter spreads rapidly throughout the school. Many students secretly celebrate. Some even begin viewing the unknown vigilante as a hero. When Su Gang enters his classroom, he discovers cat mask drawings covering his desk and classroom walls. Completely humiliated, he smashes his own desk in anger before storming out. Driving recklessly with his friends, he looks ready to explode. One of them suggests taking out his anger on Jin-ho instead. A dangerous smile slowly appears across Su Gang's face. Meanwhile, Simon relaxes inside her gym, finally feeling a small sense of satisfaction. Her police officer friend already knows she is the person behind the cat mask. He warns her that revenge will only place her in even greater danger. At the same time, Su Gang forces Jin-ho into another cruel game. The gang writes insulting words across Jin-ho's back before forcing him to run through the streets to buy fried chicken, while everyone laughs at him. Jin-ho eventually reaches the restaurant where Lee works. Seeing his condition, the restaurant owner immediately helps him. Lee wastes no time and races straight to Simon's gym. Just as Simon is about to destroy the cat mask forever, Lee arrives and tells her what happened to Jin-ho. He also admits that he was the one who called the police during the basketball fight and that he has known the masked fighter's true identity all along. Broken by endless abuse, Jin-ho finally decides to fight back. Grabbing a knife, he sets out to confront Su Gang himself. Meanwhile, Su Gang and his friends gather inside a snack bar, happily planning their next attack. Before they can act, the mysterious cat masked vigilante appears once again. Another explosive fight breaks out. Although Su Gang's gang attacks together, Simon easily holds her own against all of them. Then Jin-ho suddenly arrives with the knife. Consumed by anger, he tries to stab Su Gang. Simon immediately steps between them, refusing to let Jin-ho destroy his own future through revenge. In the struggle, the knife accidentally strikes Simon instead. She collapses as blood begins pouring from the wound. The attackers panic. Simon is rushed to the hospital, where doctors fight to save her life. The battle may be over, but the real war has only just begun. Simon is rushed to the hospital after the stabbing, and when her father sees her lying injured, he is overcome with rage and guilt. As he looks around, his eyes fall on the abandoned cat mask. Without saying a word, he picks it up, puts it on, and heads out to confront the people responsible. Meanwhile, Su Gang is feeling more confident than ever. Believing he has defeated the mysterious vigilante, he becomes even more arrogant. That confidence doesn't last long. A masked man suddenly appears before him and challenges him to a one-on-one fight. It is Simon's father. The two exchange heavy blows, but Su Gang's gang quickly joins in, turning the fight into a brutal ambush. Even while being badly outnumbered, Simon's father refuses to back down. Back at the hospital, Simon regains consciousness. The first person she asks about isn't herself. It's Jin-ho. She fears Su Gang might go after him next. Ignoring the doctor's advice, Simon insists on leaving the hospital. Her police officer friend struggles to stop her, but eventually helps her outside. There, they find Simon's father badly beaten after his confrontation. Seeing him covered in injuries brings Simon to tears. During the journey home, her father finally apologizes for the way he treated her over the years. He brings up the national boxing championship she lost years ago. Simon quietly reveals the truth. She never lost because she lacked skill. Someone had offered to clear her father's crushing debts if she intentionally threw the championship match. To save her family, she sacrificed her own dream. Her father then admits something even more heartbreaking. He had known the truth all along. Yet despite knowing why she made that sacrifice, he still blamed her for years and treated her like a failure. Now, after seeing everything she has done to protect others, he finally understands the strength and courage she always possessed. Filled with regret, he sincerely asks for her forgiveness. Simon cannot find the words. She simply fights back tears. The following morning, Su Gang becomes obsessed with uncovering the identity of the mysterious cat-masked fighter. During the previous battle, the vigilante had injured a hand. Using that clue, Su Gang begins checking every student's hands, hoping to find a matching wound. No one matches. Then his attention shifts towards Simon. She instinctively protects her injured hand, and that tiny reaction is enough for Su Gang to figure out the truth. He immediately enters the teacher's office and deliberately grabs her wounded hand. The pain confirms his suspicion. Smiling confidently, Su Gang corners Simon and demands to know why she protected him when Jin-ho tried to attack with a knife. Simon calmly answers that she wasn't saving Su Gang. She was saving Jin-ho from making a decision that would destroy the rest of his life. Her answer only fuels Su Gang's anger. Just then, he notices a poster advertising the school's upcoming boxing event. A cruel idea comes to mind. He publicly challenges Simon to fight him during the school festival, planning to humiliate her in front of the entire student body. Simon initially refuses. However, Su Gang reveals his trump card. Min-ji still possesses the video showing Jin-ho attempting to stab him. He threatens to hand that footage to the police unless Simon accepts the match. With no way out, she reluctantly agrees. Elsewhere, Jin-ho stands alone on the rooftop of a building, looking completely hopeless. It seems he has given up on life. Before he can make a terrible decision, Simon arrives. She reminds him of his grandmother, the one person who has never stopped believing in him and who wants nothing more than to see him live a happy life. Her words slowly reach him. Jin-ho steps away from the edge. For the first time in a long while, he feels that someone truly understands his pain. Simon embraces him, silently promising that he will never have to face everything alone again. As the days pass, news of the upcoming boxing match spreads throughout the entire school. Almost every student begins supporting Simon. On the day of the event, Jin-ho hands out cat masks to students across the campus, turning the mysterious vigilante into a symbol of hope. The long-awaited fight finally begins. The relentless assault almost overwhelms her. During the fight, Simon's hair comes loose, shocking everyone watching. The legendary cat-masked fighter is not a man. She is their own teacher. Just when it seems Su Gang has the upper hand, Simon awakens the champion boxer she once was. Her movements become faster. Her punches become sharper. She launches a relentless counterattack that leaves Su Gang struggling to defend himself. Then, in front of the entire school, Simon removes the cat mask herself. The crowd falls silent. The identity of their mysterious hero is finally revealed. With one perfectly timed punch, Simon knocks Su Gang completely out of the ring and wins the match. Instead of celebrating, she orders him to kneel before Jin-ho and apologize for everything he has done. Even after losing, Su Gang refuses. His pride is stronger than his remorse. Having exhausted every other option, Simon and Jin-ho officially report him to the police. At that moment, Min-ji finally steps forward. After witnessing Su Gang's cruelty for so long, she decides she has had enough. She hands over every video and recording she secretly captured over the years, providing the evidence needed to expose the truth behind countless acts of violence. With the evidence finally in the hands of the authorities, justice is finally set in motion. The story concludes sometime later. Simon leaves the school behind and begins a new chapter of her life as a gymnastics instructor. For the first time in years, she is genuinely smiling. Not because life became easy, but because she finally chose a path she could be proud of. And with that hopeful ending, the story comes to a close.